The echo of hooves on the ground and the breath of a creature that has carried us through the ages are two examples of the rhythm in the soil, a sound older than time itself. Horses have served as more than just friends. They have been warriors, nomads, fire on the broad plains, and ghosts in the haze of lost battlegrounds. We will never be able to fully comprehend the mysteries hidden in their eyes, which are as deep as the night sky. Something deep within us has always been whispered to by their wild and unbridled spirit, a yearning for strength, freedom, and the wild that still resides in our own souls. Man and horse met on the vast steppe before the first cities were constructed, and kingdoms came and went. They were bound by a softer, more sacred force rather than brutality, chains, or force. Maybe it was a quick look over the long grass, a freely given moment of trust, and the world changed in that instant. The first flight followed the first rider, traveling farther than dreams had ventured and quicker than feet alone could. Together, they transcended their individual selves. Horses have carried the burden of both grandeur and sorrow for millennia. Their hearts thumping with the roar of battle, they have dashed into combat with warriors on their backs. Horses charged forward, unflinching despite the clash of swords, the cries of men, and the fire that raged across old empires. They ran because they had pledged their loyalty, which they would never betray, even though they did not request war and could not comprehend the blood that smeared the fields below. With their gleaming armor, the knights of old rode into mythology, but it was their horses that carried the weight, who experienced the weariness of constant marches and the sting of arrows. Genghis Khan's dominion grew on the backs of tiny but ferocious Mongolian horses, whose hooves pounded the ground like a storm on its way up. Without these unsung heroes, these animals who gave their all and asked for nothing, the Crusades' war horses, Napoleon's army's chargers, and the world-changing cavalry would not have been conceivable. However, not every horse was made in combat. Some ran wild under boundless skies, their wild laughter blown across the plains by the wind. The fire of freedom blazed through the blood of the American West's Mustangs, souls as limitless as the horizon. The murmurs of 1,000 lost melodies were born by the golden Andalusians of Spain, who moved like poets. The eastern nomadic tribes galloped with the wind itself, tethered to their horses so tightly that they appeared more like family than master and beast. Horses became emblems of elegance, strength, and something elusive and otherworldly in the great halls of kings and queens. Their movements were a wordless language, a symphony of grace and movement, as they performed dressage, as quick and delicate as a desert breeze is the Arabian. Black as midnight, the Frisian moved with the grandeur of a dream in the dark. As though defying gravity itself, the Lepidzinner leaped into the air. These were live works of poetry in motion, not merely beings made of flesh and bone, but also of myth and legend. However, the world does not wait for even the most devoted of friends, and time is cruel. Horses were pushed aside by the development of machinery, becoming obsolete and no longer the dominant force on the road. The noise of vehicles drowned out the regular clatter of hooves that previously filled the streets. With their backs twisted from the strain of advancement, horses were used as laborers to pull carriages and carry heavy loads in the mines. They were now instruments of industry, used until they broke, then discarded, rather than symbols of freedom. However, the horse's spirit is difficult to subdue. They stayed even as the world changed. They discovered new goals and running techniques. Their speed served as a reminder that they had never really been abandoned as they raced, their hooves blazing from the racecourse. Gentle giants carried the injured, the tired, and the lost, and they healed. Veterans with invisible scars found comfort in the silent comprehension of a horse's eyes, while children with trembling hands brushed their fingers through silken manes. Because horses have never passed judgment, abandoned people, or demanded anything more than kindness in return, the shattered found comfort in their company. Wild horses continue to roam the peaceful corners of the globe. They continue to flee even though their numbers are declining and regulations and fences attempt to tame the untamable. They continue to follow the fading sun as though it were theirs alone, tossing their heads to the wind. They serve as reminders that certain things cannot be possessed or imprisoned, and they are reminders of a time before man asserted sovereignty over the planet. Why do we feel this way about them? Is it the way they bear the burden of the world without complaining? Or is it their grace and strength? Or is it more profound? Maybe it's a reflection of something we've lost, something untamed and unbridled that yet lurks in the wild recesses of our own hearts. Horses take us back to a time when there were no boundaries or walls, and we knew how to run fearlessly. Even though the globe may undergo unimaginable changes as the centuries go by, one thing will always be the same. The relationship between a man and a horse, the unspoken comprehension between two souls that have supported one another throughout history. The horse's essence will always be there. It will race through memory, through time, and through the wind that whispers about the past and the future. It will be wild, unbroken, and unrestricted forever. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more interesting videos.